by.
Fumbling with floss? It's time to join the Sonic Fusion revolution. Now you can brush and floss at the same time with 2 times the bristle speed and superior flossing power. It cleans deep between teeth and below the gum line. Clinically proven to be up to twice as effective as regular brushing and flossing for removing plaque and improving gum health. So upgrade your oral care with the world's first flossing toothbrush. Go online or ask your dental professional about Waterpik Sonic Fusion.
Remember when John Cena showed up to the Suicide Squad premiere wearing his Peacemaker costume? Well, get ready, because he'll be rocking it again for his new TV series.
He just likes wearing that thing everywhere he goes, doesn't he?
I think he does.
Yeah, he does. John has given us a superhero-sized sneak peek at his HBO Max spinoff. Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.
I thought you were in prison for life.
I work for the government.
Happening now.
We'll have the latest on the search for a 3-year-old girl whose family, I'm told, had just recently resettled here from Afghanistan. That story coming up.
A huge backlog of domestic violence cases pulling Bexar County commissioners into an emergency meeting to approve resources. How much the Bexar County courts are getting and where that money's going. Next.
A warming trend is on the way the rest of this week and even into the holiday weekend. I'll be back to talk about Christmas and how warm it'll get in just a bit. The News at 5 starts right now.
Now, first at 5, a breaking news update out of Medina County. The Medina County Sheriff's Office wants you to be on the lookout for that man that you see all the way to your left. That's 40-year-old Jonathan Wright. He's wanted for sex crimes against minors in North Carolina. He's also missing with 3 of his children, and you see them right there on your screen as well. That's 11-year-old Jonathan, 9-year-old Lucas, and 8-year-old Ariana.
According to the Sheriff's Office, Wright traveling with his wife and 5 kids when their car broke down. They decided to travel on foot and, quote, live off the land. Deputies are looking for Wright tonight. Spotted his wife in Rio Medina with 2 of the older kids. She told them they were on the run because her husband was a wanted man.
Now, Wright and the 3 younger kids could also be in the Rio Medina area or in Castroville. They're actually known to camp out in the woods. Deputies are even more concerned because it's been colder lately and these kids have no resources. Here's the deal, though. If you see Wright, officials are saying don't approach him. What you do is instead call the Medina County Sheriff's Office, and that number is on your screen. It's 830-741-6153.
To yet another developing story we're following at this hour. A desperate search goes on for a 3-year-old who disappeared just days away from Christmas.
Now, San Antonio police just released new pictures of Lena Keel. Here she is, and just take a good look at that little girl. Investigators believe that someone kidnapped her late yesterday afternoon from a playground in her apartment complex on Fredericksburg Road. Now, Jesse Degollado is at that scene now with the latest. And Jesse, what can you tell us about this?
SAPD has not given us any update other than those new photos you just saw of that missing little girl. Although at a briefing this morning, Police Chief William McManus made it perfectly clear.
We have every available asset in the police department working on this case right now.
Starting with an Amber Alert issued soon after 7:15 last night. Lena Sardar Keel, the 3-year-old girl with a ponytail, was wearing a black jacket, a red dress, and black shoes. The chief says she was in a playground at the apartment complex between 5 and 6 yesterday afternoon with some other families when her mother went inside for a few minutes. But when she came back, Lena was gone. Police weren't notified, however, until about an hour later. Officers then searched all night. A police canine was brought in. The police chopper was flown over the area. Officers also knocked on nearly 300 apartment doors where Lena's family lives, talked to possible witnesses, but also at last word, no one reported seeing Lena taken. Even so, SAPD is handling this as an abduction. They even planned on searching nearby apartment complexes. The FBI also has been called in.
This goes on 24 hours a day, what we're doing right now, and we will continue this until hopefully we find Lena.
The chief says anyone with information should call SAPD Missing Persons at 210-207-7660. Now, Lena's family is among the hundreds of Afghan refugees who settled here in San Antonio, and in fact, I'm told that Lena's family had just recently resettled here in San Antonio. We'll have more about that coming up at 6. For now, we're live outside the apartment complex where Lena disappeared on Fredericksburg Road. Jesse Degollado, KSAT 12 News.
All right, Jesse, thank you. In other news now, we're learning more about the man who died in a train accident this weekend. He is 24-year-old Ralph William Diaz Jr. Investigators say that he was walking along some train tracks with someone near I-35 in Thousand Oaks when a train hit him. Now, he died Sunday morning, and San Antonio police think that he and the person that he was with were both intoxicated, but the other person wasn't hurt.
Police trying to find a motive for a shooting at a bar early this morning. Officers called to Thirsty's Bar on South Presa Street about 2 this morning. That's not far from Old Corpus Christi Road. They say an argument started in the parking lot of the Southside Bar between a 32-year-old man and 4 other men. At some point, they say a man pulled out a gun, shooting the victim in the shoulder. The 4 men got into a black car and drove away. The victim taken to a hospital and is in stable condition at this hour.
And now keep looking at your screen, because that's pretty much what's left of what used to be a home in the Northeast. It's near I-10 East and Loop 1604. Went up in flames this morning. Investigators say that nobody was inside when it started. At this point, it's unclear just how many people used to live there.
Bexar County commissioners just did something to help domestic violence victims. They approved millions of dollars for the courts that are handling these cases.
So all that money is going to criminal and civil courts, but that's maybe an issue because, as Courtney Friedman explains, it's the criminal courts that need a lot of help to clear all the backlog of cases.
The backlog in misdemeanor domestic violence cases in Bexar County so big, County Judge Nelson Wolf had to call this emergency special session to approve crucial resources.
You have cases that are pending for years, case after case be dismissed because maybe they couldn't find the complainant.
The Office of Court Administration data shows that over the past 5 years, the misdemeanor family assault cases left pending increased by 140.5%.
Justice isn't served. We want to give you the resources to address and prevent.
Those resources approved today include over $2.3 million to hire 2 visiting judges and their full staff to come help our family violence courts tackle the overwhelming caseload. Most of those positions would be temporary. The Commissioner's Court also approved 14 new positions to accompany those new judges, 6 prosecutors, 2 advocates, 2 investigators, and 4 crime victim liaisons. The last piece of funding included 2 coordinators for the Bexar County Family Justice Center to help handle complicated cases for high-risk victims. It may sound like a lot, but the commissioners realize this will only be a Band-Aid for the massive case problem.
You guys get 20 new cases every day.
Absolutely.
And if we look at what that means over the course of a year?
They agreed to come back in the new year and consider adding even more investigators who can contact victims 24 hours after they report a crime. They also want to add more resources and funding to the nonprofits who support those victims. Courtney Friedman, KSAT 12 News.
The Commissioner's Court also approved more than $400,000 for the civil courts to add staff and legal services for domestic violence victims. More than $500,000 approved for special new GPS watches for perpetrators that alert victims when they get too close.
Now we're awaiting verdicts in 2 major trials that we've been following for weeks already.
Yeah, we're in day 2 of deliberations in both the sex trafficking trial of Ghislaine Maxwell and the manslaughter case of former Minnesota police officer Kim Potter. In New York, a jury has asked to review testimony from 3 of the 4 women involved in the Maxwell trial. These are sketches of Maxwell from inside the federal courtroom because cameras and other recording devices are not allowed inside. Maxwell has pleaded not guilty to 6 federal counts, including sex trafficking of a minor. Many of those alleged encounters are linked back to the 90s and early 2000s, along with Maxwell's former boyfriend, Jeffrey Epstein. He was found dead in his jail cell back in 2019 after he was arrested on his own sex trafficking charges. If convicted, Maxwell faces up to 70 years in prison.
Now over in Minnesota, we are also awaiting the verdict in the trial of Kim Potter. She's the former cop who shot and killed Dante Wright during a traffic stop in April. She claims that she mistook her gun for a taser. She pleaded not guilty to 1st and 2nd degree manslaughter charges. Now, the moment that the verdicts in both of these cases are announced, of course, we'll let you know.
With new COVID cases and the Omicron variant surging nationwide, today President Joe Biden unveiling a new plan to fight Omicron. Daryl Forges has details.
With a new surge comes a new plan. The White House taking extra measures against COVID-19.
We all want this to be over, but we're still in it. And this is a critical moment. We also have more tools than we ever had before.
Among the new initiatives, 500 million free at-home rapid tests to be made available to Americans next month, new or expanded vaccination and testing sites with increased access, the deployment of 1,000 service members and additional medical teams in January and February to hospitals overwhelmed by the surge.
With putting up about 20,000 testing sites, with getting 500 million tests very quickly, literally within the next few days.
The president also reassuring people who are vaccinated, but also warning those who are unvaccinated about the potential threat of severe illness.
If you're not fully vaccinated, you have good reason to be concerned. You're at a high risk of getting sick. And if you get sick, you're likely to spread it to others. Almost everyone who has died from COVID-19 in the past many months has been unvaccinated.
The White House moving quickly as the Omicron variant surges nationwide. The CDC projects 73% of new cases across the country are Omicron.
If you are vaccinated and follow the precautions that we all know well, you should feel comfortable celebrating Christmas and the holidays as you planned it.
I'm Daryl Forger reporting.
Today, a lot of sunshine, just some high thin clouds streaming overhead, which should make for a nice sunset this evening. 37 earlier this morning. That's below the average of 42 then this afternoon. We topped out at 66 degrees, and right now Leon Springs 65, Eagle Pass at 70. That's one of the warmer locations, but most of us are in the mid 60s. Even Utopia 68, currently 66 in Windcrest. As we go through the evening, pretty quiet, just some high thin clouds, calm wind, temperatures pretty close to average. By midnight will be 48 degrees, and tomorrow morning we'll start the day in the low to mid 40s. But get ready for a warming trend. We're going to talk more about how much warmer it's going to be for Christmas in just a bit. Let's get a look at the roads. Sam, how are we rolling this afternoon?
Well, looking downtown here, Adam, in just a second, see a crash there at I-35, Flores, McCullough area. You see there's some kind of spill there, some kind of, they're trying to clean this up following this crash. So the cars are out of the way for the most part, but you can see here again, I-35 on the upper level, you can see it's a couple of lanes still blocked, so that's still impacting things. You also have another crash on 35 a little farther south of there, so you can still see crews on the scene there. So let's take a look here at the map in this area, see slowdowns. Thankfully, the volume isn't as heavy as it would be during a normal week. It is the holiday week, but we are seeing some delays there on I-10 as well. And looking at the wider view, also some delays on the northwest side. We'll keep an eye on things downtown and have another update throughout the evening. Steve?
Thank you, Samuel. Are you in charge of Christmas dinner? Well, 12 on your side's Marilyn Moritz has the perfect pots and pans that can help you make cooking easier and maybe even a little lighter on your pocket coming up.
This SA Salute holiday greeting is brought to you by Pam Hospitals.
Hi, my name is Kristen Meyer.
And I'm Andrew Herrera Mendoza. As veterans of the United States Navy, we want to salute you, our military veterans, families, and first responders, and all those with a loved one not present during the holidays. Thank you for all you do.
A new year, but not a new deal. I'm Myra Arthur in the newsroom with a look at what we're working on for the news at 6 o'clock today. The year coming to a close with no new deal reached between the city of San Antonio and the Police Officers Association. That means no scheduled pay raises for officers, but the two sides are getting closer to an agreement. They were back at the negotiating table again today. Our Garrett Berger will have the latest on those talks. Also ahead at 6.
I was really thankful in a weird way for Hurricane Katrina. Blessing in disguise.
He was rescued from a rooftop after Hurricane Katrina, went into foster care here in Texas, was adopted, now works for a Fortune 500 company, and he's working to make a difference in the lives of kids growing up like he did. His message about fostering a child coming up at 6 o'clock. Steve and Stephania.
Oh, looking forward to that, Myra. Thank you so much. Now, new at 5, holiday help in the kitchen. I know this. A lot of you have so much cooking to do, but really, you don't need a ton of pots and pans to do it. 12 on your side's Marilyn Moritz shows us which ones can help you multitask. And the best part is, you don't need to spend a fortune.
Michael Coppola inherited his grandma's 1950s cast iron skillets. He refurbished them because he loves their versatility.
Dutch baby. They're really good about going from stovetop to in the oven and being able to take high temperatures.
Maybe you've accumulated a lot of pots and pans, but how many do you really need?
There are a couple of pans that you can cook almost anything in because of the material they're made of.
So if you're looking to simplify, she says consider one of these that do it all, the cast iron skillet or the Dutch oven. Dutch ovens are enameled cast iron pots that maintain extremely high or low temperatures, so they're great for searing steak or slow cooking stews, and they're super easy to clean. Consumer Reports recommends this $80 6-quart Lodge Dutch oven. It even turned out perfect bread. It withstands heat up to 500 degrees and can be used on an induction cooktop. Next, the cast iron skillet. It's extremely durable and can take high heat. You can bake cornbread for a crowd or brown delicate fish to perfection. CR recommends this Tramontina fry pan. The side handle is helpful and it pours from both sides. Now, what about the popular Always pan? Consumer Reports says the nonstick surface can't sear as well as cast iron because it can't be used over a high flame. Metal utensils aren't recommended, and it can't go in the oven. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
All right, good stuff. Let's take a live look outside right now. Live look at 410. You can't really see too much of the traffic there. Not too much of an issue on a Tuesday, usually at this time, on a holiday week. But it is beautiful out.
I got to tell you, though, the airport's just off to the right-hand side of that screen. The next 24, 48 hours are going to be very busy at that area, Adam.
Yeah, the activity is going to be picking up there. No travel issues in and out of San Antonio. And all across Texas, we're going to be A-OK. No big system forming anywhere near us. So just fine in terms of traveling weather, especially if you're hitting the roads. Gradually warming the rest of the week. Morning fog, though, could become thick Thursday and Friday. That's something to watch out for if you are traveling. And for Christmas, we've got lower 80s in the forecast. So let's break it down for you between now and then and what's going to be happening out there. You look outside, we're 65 degrees, comfortable. Lack of humidity in the air, dew point of 47. Actually, we're pretty close to the average afternoon high temperature. Across the state, 60s to near 70. 70 in Junction, 64 New Braunfels, Cotulla up to 74, and Uvalde 67 degrees. Tomorrow morning, we're anticipating low to mid 40s. So about 41 Rock Springs and Uvalde, 41 in Gonzales, a little closer to the mid-40s in San Antonio. Then by the afternoon, we make it into the 70s. I mean, we could be even 80 degrees closer to the Rio Grande come this time tomorrow. But we're thinking about 75 in Hondo, Canyon Lake 73, Gonzales about 73, Helotes 71. So incrementally warming up from where we were over the weekend and even compared to where we were yesterday. And then notice by Friday, 80 degrees. I mean, that's going to be, I think, a very common number all across the map. Lower 80s this weekend. So Christmas Day, the day after, likely to be in the lower 80s. Not only that, you'll notice some humidity back in the air, a bit of mugginess, at least by Friday, but especially for Christmas Day, a little bit of humidity back in the air, and you'll notice that stickiness. Right now, we don't have it. I mean, dew points are in the 40s, so the pleasant, comfortable, dry air. However, look at the trend here. Friday, dew points back to 60, and then into the weekend, we've got dew points in the mid-60s. So not feeling very Christmassy outside in terms of what people often think of and relate to when it comes to Christmas time. The warmest Christmas we've ever had was 90 degrees. That was back in the 50s. So we have some high thin clouds coming in from the northwest. They'll be around a little bit over the next couple of days. Not a big deal. I like them because they look like brush strokes up in the sky, and they just add a little variety to a blue sky. So we'll have some of those cirrus clouds moving overhead. Otherwise, quiet weather. These are just coming off the Pacific and rounding a ridge that's down to the southwest of us. The activity is in the southeastern U.S. and a little bit up in the Great Lakes. But this is actually part of the system that we had over the weekend, now moving through Atlanta and causing widespread rain in the southeastern U.S. So around here tomorrow, we start the day low to mid 40s. By the afternoon, low 70s. A lot of sunshine, south wind at 5 to 10. And we have that warming trend into the lower 80s by Christmas Day. Mornings in the upper 50s, a little closer to 60 degrees as we progress through the rest of the week and into the upcoming holiday Christmas weekend.
All right, good stuff. But there's more than one reason to be excited.
Absolutely.
It's game day.
It is absolutely game day.
Less than an hour away from kickoff?
That's right, because this is the third trip for UTSA to a bowl game. They're looking for their first win. In fact, there's back-to-back bowl trips this year under head coach Jeff Traylor. When we come back, we're going to take you right down on the field at Toyota Stadium in Frisco to get you ready for kickoff, and the Spurs with a huge road win coming up. Tonight is the night the UTSA Roadrunners will face the San Diego State Aztecs in the Tropical Smoothie Cafe Frisco Bowl in Frisco, Texas. Kickoff is just a little over an hour away with great weather for kickoff. With more of tonight's game, let's take it live to Toyota Stadium. Our Larry Ramirez standing by. Larry, they're expecting a sellout crowd tonight.
Well, you know what, Greg? It is pretty darn close, that's for sure. Toyota Stadium seats 20,500 people. We were told by a Frisco Bowl organizer that capacity for this game is 17,200, and right now there are fewer than 500 tickets left for this contest. That's what we were told this afternoon. So all the talk is over with. It's almost time to play some football. The crew painted the logo at midfield yesterday and then had to keep it dry due to rain. Much better weather today. It's been a record-breaking season for UTSA, and tonight they can check off one more box with a win.
And when the season started, we said someone's going to be the first team in UTSA history to win the West, and why not us? So we checked that box, and then some team in UTSA is going to be the first one to ever win a conference championship. You know, why not us? And we checked that box. And there's going to be another team, some team, whether it's this one or somewhere, it's going to be the first one to ever win a bowl game. Why not us?
And coming up tonight at 6, San Diego State University says UTSA quarterback Frank Harris will drive a defense crazy. Greg, back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Larry. Sounds like it's rocking there after dropping the game. They should have won easily in Sacramento on the night before. Our San Antonio Spurs responded by beating the Clippers in L.A. last night. DeJounte Murray got the Spurs off to a great start, outscoring the Clippers in the first quarter, 35-27. Murray had 8 of his 24 points in the first quarter. In fact, he would score 17 in the first half. Spurs would lead 62-46 at the break. It was the third quarter that really stood out as the Spurs outscored the Clippers 30-17. In fact, the Spurs would push their lead out to 21 points when the Keldon Johnson three-pointer with just over 5 minutes left in the third. The Spurs would pull out away even further in the fourth quarter behind Jakob Poeltl's 17 points, 11 rebounds, including this big dunk in the fourth quarter. Spurs lead would be 30 in the final period. DeJounte Murray hits this three. He would finish at 24, 13 assists, 12 rebounds, 6 triple-double, his third in the last 5 games, 116-92 wins.
I take pride in being a pass-first guy, knowing that I could score, knowing I'm going to get shots. You know, for me, it's just getting that balance now, and it's going to come over time. But for me, I want guys to love playing with me. I think it's rare in the league. You got a bunch of score-first point guards, and I want to be that guy where a lot of guys, I love playing with him, so I take pride in that.
All right, they'll stay in L.A. They play the Lakers next on Thursday. Good luck, Roadrunners, tonight.
Yeah,
right.
Roadrunners, and then you have Road Warriors
there you
in
go.
the Spurs, apparently. So thanks, Greg.
Good stuff. We'll be right back after this.
Still watching some issues downtown, at least 2 crashes. One of those has been cleared at Flores. This is a look at 35 in St. Mary's. They're working on getting that clear, but one lane is still blocked northbound. And finally, at 35 in Cesar Chavez, the other crash starting to get cleared there. So some good news there, Steve and Stephanie.
All right, thank you. And thank you for watching the News at 5.
World News up next. We'll see you back here at 6.